my name is Connie and I am here from our lovely headquarters here at Bookspring, and I am here to give you 5 wonderful tips of how to read out loud so you can have a wonderful and engaging story time with children or any other audience members. So let's go ahead and get started. Reading tip number 1, you always want to have your book right in front of you. You always want to either put it to your right hand side or to your left hand side. I prefer that you use your hand that you're used to write with. That way you're able to support the book. And before you open it, you always want to give credit to the author and the illustrator, if there is one. And of course, when you start reading, you want to make sure that you read loudly so everyone around you can hear, especially to the audience members towards the back. Make sure you hold it upright, nice and tall, and you want to hold it in a position where you are able to read the fine print. And remember, when you are reading, make sure you also give eye contact to the kids. Make sure when you're reading, you want to read a few sentences and then look at your audience to make sure that you're making a connection with them. Reading tip number 2, make sure when you are reading aloud to always make sure that it is loud enough and also that you are making the sounds a little bit more interesting. For example, we don't want to say, "He pulled some for a morning snack on the way to school." What you do want to do and say is, "He pulled some for a morning snack on the way to school." The difference in tone will really make a difference in how your children and your audience members will gravitate towards the interest of the book. Tip number 3 is when you are reading to kids, you always want to try to be engaging with them. Try either making a comment or asking a question. For example, on a page like this, where there are no words, simply pictures, you can ask the kids questions such as, "Why is he laughing? Why do you think he is sawing some wood?" And you will be very surprised at the amount of responses from kids, maybe even parents, to try and figure out why our character is doing certain actions. And tip number 4 is to have fun while reading the book. Make it creative, make it silly. Make sure that when you read the book, you are more than welcome to make faces, make your voice sound louder. You can even change your voice to sound like the characters. For example, in this book, these are called creepy carrots, and they make very little sinister sounds, and it says so in the book of how they sound like. So you are more than welcome to change your voice. That way the children can really respond and make connections to how the characters are different, and that will really get some more engagement during your story time. And tip number 5, last but not least, is to make sure that you read the book from beginning to end before you go and read out loud to the kids. Make sure that you recognize some words. Sometimes some words might sound different when you're reading them. Make sure you want to practice to make sure that your book is visible to everybody and that you are well acquainted with turning the pages, because it can get rather tricky when reading a book out loud. You want to make sure that you are able to make it enjoyable for everybody. So that is our last tip. Make sure that you read it out loud with yourself or practice with friends and family before you read out loud to children or parents.